Good morning. Welcome to our thought for this day, this Wednesday, the 5th of May. Our reading is from Psalm 30, starting at the first verse. I will extol you, O Lord, for you have drawn me up, and you did not let my foes rejoice over me. O Lord my God, I cried to you for help, and you have healed me. O Lord, you brought my soul up from Sheol, restored me to life from those among them who have gone down to the pit. Sing praises to the Lord, O you his faithful ones, and give thanks to his holy name. For his anger is but for a moment, his favor is for a lifetime. Weeping may linger for the night, but joy comes in the morning. As for me, I said in my prosperity, I shall never be moved. By your favor, O Lord, you have established me as a strong mountain. You hid your face, I was dismayed. To you, O Lord, I cried, and to the Lord I made my supplication. What profit is there in my death if I go down to the pit? Will the dust praise you? Will it tell of your faithfulness? Hear, O Lord, and be gracious to me. O Lord, be my helper. You've turned my mourning into dancing. You have taken off my sackcloth and clothed me with joy, so that my soul may praise you and not be silent. O Lord my God, I will give thanks to you forever. Rather like in the psalm, there are phases to our healing. You start with prayer by asking God for your healing, but you recognize it's only a phase. A little later, when you can come and continue with more prayer, and then you realize your healing is complete. So you move to praise. I've certainly been through all these phases with my cancer treatment and my broken foot. I've always loved running, and both of those illnesses took them away from me, running away from me for quite a long time. Psalm 30 illustrates the way you pray after phase 2. Rather, it illustrates the way you thank God for answering your prayers and the prayers of others. The story comes in 3 parts in this psalm. You relate how things went wrong for you, and then how you prayed and how God answered. The psalmist could have stopped after verse 5, but he starts again in verse 6. And so the second half of the psalm just tells the story again. It goes behind the first story by recalling how things were before the trouble arrived. In my case, maybe I was overconfident of my physical prowess before having cancer or a broken foot. But from verse 6 onwards, we see the psalmist's uncertainty come back in. He struggled with his connection with God. This may have happened to you during this difficult lockdown times. The psalm is a testimony, and it illustrates 3 interrelated aspects of giving one's testimony. First, the psalm assumes the experience of God's deliverance is not a mere one-time experience, an odd event. It constitutes a concrete illustration of who God really is. God is the one who puts down, but mercifully his anger only lasts a moment, and his loving acceptance of his people is more characteristic of him. The second is that experiencing God's deliverance isn't something that just affects you at the time. It changes you, and it changes the way you pray forever. The third thing is that you're not the only one it affects. A thanksgiving psalm is also a testimony psalm because it's designed for other people to hear and for them to join in, because the facts about God are relevant to the rest of us as well as the person who's healed. So it's easy to see how someone might use a psalm to praise God and how this might become or be adopted by a congregation in worship. So I was just wondering, which bits of the psalm can you join in today? Thank you for coming and joining me today, and may God bless you as you seek Him.